Hello and welcome back to Pete's Model Car Customs. I hope I find you all well. I'm back with a little update on this Mustang II, and it's about really the wiring looms and minor sort of doodads that have got to be fitted on yet and hooked up and all that. And this is basically it'll be made out of stretch sprue and a few bits of copper wire. Hello, love. How are you, my lovely? So I've got in the engine bay here, as you can see, some sort of dangly bits. I'll see if I can zoom that in a little bit. You know what I'm like with this bloody technology stuff. Let's see what I can do there. Yeah, so that'll do. Can you see into there? I've got in there my sort of basics. The yellow wiring is the alternator. And that will run from inside the engine bay and that up and around to hook onto the other electrics, which will be mounted along the far wall and the inner wheel arch there, fender. So these are an amount of stretch sprue with little tags to make mounting brackets onto the bulkheads and that, panels. All made out of several different lengths of sprue, as you can see, and I like to leave it a bit scrappy so as that will give more, sort of interest to it. Having a few wiggly wires. I mean, most engine bays have got a few wiggly wires rather than neatly run stuff like conduit type wiring. I've got some other pieces here which I've been messing around with for main electric thingies, but these are rather big for this. But it gives you the idea of what's going on more with it being that bit bigger. The saddles on there and on the other parts, although they're drastically smaller, I make some little pieces of strip and then another piece of strip to go over it. But I form the top covering piece into a saddle so as it does actually leap over whatever it is. It'll probably show up better on these. There are sort of, will I get that? So one side of it is flat, and then I get a piece of sprue and lay another small part over the sprue and press it down with my tweezers, like sort of do it. Can I do that? Where are you? Lay the piece of strip over another piece of sprue and then literally press it down over it. That's not really good about, but to give you a sort of curved saddle, and then that will all hook up to my fuse box and regulator and stuff like that, and alternator, of course, coil. Then I've got, get out of the way, there's another bit of stretch sprue which is just sort of stretched all over the place. Come on, come out again. That's going the wrong way again, isn't it? Right. And then over there I've started to work on the brake hosing. I've made up a couple of coils here that will run off the master cylinder and then down into the body of the car, and I'll link that to further pieces of brass wire, copper wire. As you can see, I've just put two on there. They'll just come in handy, and I'll just pick whichever one I like the look of the most. The one on the left looks as though it could do with a little tweak to close it up a bit. And then I'll just sort of like add a few more bits of wire to bits of strip to add in as need be, If you heat the sprue to stretch it, do it over at one of these sort of little candles. It's much safer to do it on a little candle than it is on, say, wherever that's gone, those cheap old clipper lighters or whatever. If you use one of these, it can overheat. It really does, and it's also too hot. Whereas if you use one of these little tea lights, the flame actually is, it's safe because it's contained, as long as you keep all your chemicals out of the way. And the temperature off of the candle isn't as high as the temperature from the lighter, so you can stretch stuff better, so more safely, like doing this. See, you can also, with different amounts of pull, get different thicknesses, and it's great fun to experiment with, see what little shapes you come up with. And I really do like using sprue. I've got my radiator fitted there. Well, not fitted, none of it's fitted, it's just in place. If I can get this to work a little bit, I'll pull that back out again. Like I said, everything's not, it's fitted rather than glued in, because everything is still going to be in, out, in, out. If I can plonk that onto there. Where are you? Let's go back the other way, Pete. I hope this torch won't dazzle you. I'm trying to keep the actual beam out of the way, but to give the, you can see the light glistening through there, because this is made up of you know, like my center core. Oh, there's a good view. You can see the center core down through the mesh. On the other side, I've got that. Added 2 brackets that side, 2 on that side, and a sort of weld effect across the top. It's a bit scruffy, that, really, but you know, that gives me the effect that I want of the radiator. Down the bottom, I've got the temperature sensor and the outlet hose for the Jubilee clip on it, and the upper hose has got a fitting with the Jubilee clip on it. And like I say, the 4 brackets either side, or rather 2 each side. Where are you now? Will slide over my bits of angle that I've got in the body. Oh, hang on, just lost my horn. Pop that back in, and that'll be like that in there. It's not going to focus, is it? And if I can get this around, there you go. See, that's clipped over the edge of there, locating it in place. I've scratch built myself a little horn with a little mounting bracket. Where are you now? There. Ping. Right, scratch built a little horn with a couple of wires and mounting bracket. Just came into focus as it fell off, didn't it? And you know, I'll spend hours messing around with this, trying to get everything lined up and linked in to get everything together. I'm trying not to handle the engine too much, because now it's got all the linkage and fuel pipes hooked up. It's very fragile and delicate on there. Also made up my couple of bits of wire with coils on the end to go into my, laying my arm in the wrong place, and it's causing a nervous twitch. Come on, bloody focus. Right, so I'll have these hooked up to the master cylinder. Plonk that out of the way. This little bit is the vacuum pipe from the master cylinder, well, from the master cylinder to the inlet manifold. I've got a fuse box to link in that I've made up, and it's got a sticky little pad of a little fuse box to link in. and then the regulator and coil and alternator still to go on. Another little thing, I finished off my little Model A pickup. This was a little novel laugh. Added axle detail and exhaust and bit of transmission going on down there. That was a good little fun thing to do, hollow out one of those little trophies. I don't think it's big enough to hold an alternator. Tiny little thing. But that was one of the trophies in there, so I world's smallest shop truck. Anyway, that's it. Best wishes from jolly old England. Bye.